What's up? It's Mikey from Seventh Time Down. We're back. The hardest thing about touring for me, and probably for everybody in the band, it's hard to reconcile having a family and kids, a wife that you love dearly, you want to be with 24/7 like every other human wants to be with their family, and then you have to go out and be away from them and do the events and do the shows. And for me anyway, it's just trying to reconcile, you know, the desire to be home and be a dad, but also this desire to go have a ministry and you know, play music and minister to people for the kingdom of God.
Here we are, Cheyenne, Wyoming. First show back in a while. Pretty excited. Excited to get to play our music, do what we do. Also in a atypical part of the country. We don't get to go to Wyoming all that much. And it is daggone cold in these parts.
I think there are things in life that allow us as humans to totally lose track of like what space we're in, how much time is taking place while we're doing this activity. And there's very few things in my life that can cause me to lose track of space and time. Hanging out with my wife obviously is one of them. You can just get lost for hours and anything with your wife. And then also getting to the floor playing with my kids and, you know, going to the playground and that sort of thing. You know, you think you're going to be there for 15 minutes, next thing you know it's been 3 hours. There's another moment in my life, and it's not necessarily playing music at the shows, doing the songs, but there's moments in between the songs where I pray that the Spirit of God would make me so aware of His presence in that space and in that time. And it's an amazing thing. When that starts to happen, I lose all track of space and time and begin to share my heart and the hearts of my brothers. Maybe it's things we've talked about throughout the week, or things I've talked about with my kids, or things that I've had, you know, intimate talks with God about. And you just kind of lose track of time in those moments in between songs, and, you know, just pour your heart out and pray that everyone in the show and everybody around it just becomes aware of the presence of God. And that's the most rewarding and the most incredible, you know, thing for me about touring, about playing shows and playing music with my friends. When COVID hit in March of 2020 and we all were told to go home, the band ceased to exist, basically. You know, no longer were we allowed to go tour and play shows and minister to people. But it's interesting to be in music ministry because when I'm dead and gone, these songs that are so much bigger than me and my friends and the band Seventh Time Down, songs that, you know, literally God had given us, you know, to sing and play in the world, those songs will live on forever. So in one way, the ministry totally, you know, had a chokehold on it by the world and COVID. But in another way, just because of the nature of what music is and how God uses it to minister to people, the ministry was never stronger because people were stuck at home and they were trying to find ways to connect with God and connect with their families. And, you know, they were doing that through music. And I think probably during COVID, as much as people hurt and as much sadness as people felt, you know, music was one thing that, you know, filled my home with joy. And I know it did for, you know, tons of other people around the world. And, you know, what better joy to fill up your home than, you know, the Spirit of God through Christian music. So yeah, I think in some ways the ministry, you know, ceased to exist. In a lot of ways it, you know, it flourished in ways it never had before. Looking forward, I think anything's possible, but I think that's part of the goodness of God, because anything's possible, but He promises to never leave us or forsake us, and He's going to walk with us through the hills and the valleys, the mountaintop experiences, and you know, the not so good experiences. You know, my God has always been by my side, and He's good and He's faithful, and yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to what God has next for the ministry and the band, and me and my friends, and you know, as well as my kiddos. You know, paying right.